The more I look at Tesla pricing, more baffled I become. I'm very grateful to it because the price here is just absolutely ludicrous, low that is, and it is for open to all. Anyone else wants to charge here. It's really low. So what's actually going on? Is there a hidden agenda going on in the background? I'm Dave, this is Dave Takes It On. In the making of the video, we've been out over the last few days and we've been visiting specifically Tesla superchargers. The pricing is something that's been baffling us for some time. Prices have come down. Now we get loads of viewer comments saying, yeah, as soon as Tesla gets the monopoly and everyone's charging a Tesla, then they will just start hiking the prices, doubling, quadrupling or whatever it is. So it's a captive audience. What we're seeing is with the prices down as low as 20 pence a kilowatt hour. That's a public charging price. It's crazy pricing. So there is something going on, but we're trying to piece all this together to find out what is the master plan. We're here today, and this one is fairly typical. It's peak time at the moment. The price here, 37 pence for a Tesla driver. Off-peak, 28 pence. These are crazy prices. 28 pence is about the same rate as your domestic electricity at home on standard tariff. Crazy. We've just come from Charnock Richard motorway services on the M6. They had a whole variety of different times and charging rates, all gone. They got one rate now. Go there today, 37p, morning, noon or night. That's it, 37p. And then the other day we were in Manchester at Old Trafford, and we found over there a Tesla exclusive site, and that one, the prices were 41 pence during peak time, and it was 20 pence off peak. Crazy. Now, you could think that Tesla are using these open to all. This is an open to all charger. We've got a BMW charging over there. So you could argue that maybe they're stiffing the non-Tesla drivers to subsidize the charging for us EV drivers. But we look on here today, the price for a non-Tesla, that BMW over there, iX1 I think it is, just now, peak time, 51 pence. And that beats pretty much every other CPO in the area. We got BE.EV just opening up a new hub in Manchester, 16 bays, but that's 55p. We got Arnold Clark a few miles from here, that's 55p. Here, 51p, but if you come out of hours, 38p. So if at 38p they're cross-subsidising and they're ripping off non-Teslas to subsidise us Teslas, how are they making that profit at 38p to subsidise my charging prices? Now, just out of interest, if you see behind me, it's getting rather busy. We typically will spend about an hour at a location doing filming for each of the videos. We do work hard and there's a lot of post-production afterwards, but the actual filming, we can be here an hour. We've just been to Apple Green down on the M6 at Charnock Richards, not a car in sight. We were there for almost 2 hours because we're doing extra films, not a car in sight was charging there. This is typical of a Tesla one, but what you will notice as you see different sections of this video, we film it in sections, you will see that although we've got 3, 6, 8, 9 charging here at the moment out of 15, so it's busy. In about 10 minutes, we'll be down to 6 or up to 15. It's very dynamic. There's a huge amount going on. Virtually all Teslas, and that brings us on to brand loyalty. Right from the very beginning, Elon Musk, very controversial figure, but he's got a brain up there. And he realized that people would not buy electric cars unless they could do long distance journeys, road trips, and be able to charge rapidly and reliably at a sensible price. So every country he's operated in, he builds up the charging network alongside the EV sales so that when you buy your first EV in the country, there's already chargers there waiting for you. And those prices are kept very, very low. So here at the moment, we're on 38 pence. This is peak time. It's a crazy price, but that's what he does. And what it gives him is brand loyalty. It encourages people to buy Teslas because your charging is at least half price, possibly quarter price on some of them. So these cars, these will go on for 10, 15, 20 years. And they every time they charge at a supercharger, he is making money out of it. I've got to work out whether he makes more when he sells the car in terms of profit, or whether he makes more every time a car charges, because certainly in America, most of their charging locations are now self-generating. They're producing, they've got solar panels and battery storage, and so they're actually using free renewable energy. He owns a factory that makes the solar panels, and he obviously makes the mega packs as well. So there's a continuity going on, and that gives incredible brand loyalty. I mean, the car's pretty good as well, but the whole package is there. And we don't see that anywhere else. We've come from Apple Green, 77 pence, 16 charges there. They weren't being used. And why would they? Who was going to charge there? There's no thought from the manufacturer or the EV manufacturer or from the charger manufacturer who's going to use this. So that brings us back to a piece of software, and we featured this one before. What Tesla has, because it offers the whole package, which is the cars, the charging, the memberships, everything, every car that is on a road trip, every car that's on the road is actually being monitored live. Somewhere there's a computer going on, probably AI. What is it, Grok he's got now? Anyway, all this is going on. And they have software, predictive software for EV charging. So they know each car on the road, roughly, if it's programmed into the sat nav where it's going, they will be able to work out where that car is going to need to stop to charge the battery. And it's something that no one else can do who runs a charging network, and no one else can do who's manufacturing EVs. It's only when you've got the two together under one roof. So Tesla knows at any one time how many chargers are going to be needed here in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. And this is running all the time. And it gives us one of the answers that we have. Why is this so busy? And it's because this predictive software has predicted that this particular location is very popular and required by Tesla drivers, whether they live locally and can't charge at home, or whether they're on a road trip up to Scotland or down to London. It doesn't matter, but they know this is a busy place. And this is borne out. They are very, very busy. There are times when they're totally deserted. We arrived, there was one car. That one went, and now look at it. It's busy again. And we see every day a dramatic difference in what's going on with the chargers. So we go to Manor Farm recently. This is an Osprey. They got 16 bays. Here they got 15. And when we were there for the best part of 2 hours. Not a single car arrived to charge. And we went to other locations around about Liverpool, and they were all pretty much deserted. An odd car here or there. That's all there was. And yet, whenever we go to Tesla, we notice the main difference is the throughput. That these cars, they will only be here 10 or 15 minutes. It's fantastic to see it. And we're going to come back and do a time lapse here. We'll run it over a couple of hours and see the results there. But these cars, they come in 10 or 15 minutes, they're gone. And there's a tremendous throughput. So some of these chargers might be charging 2, 3, 4 cars an hour. Whereas we go to Manor Farm, we got 16 bays there, Osprey, not a single one is being used and being paid for. So that comes back to this software that Tesla are locating them where they are needed. So Tesla's decided on Charnock Richard services on the M6 that there's a need for a Tesla supercharger. And it's a very busy one. We've just come from there, cars in and out all of the time. But on the same site, we've got an Apple Green. There's 16 chargers there. And while we were there filming for the best part of 2 hours, none of them were being used. So we've got to think that the success of the Tesla charging model is not entirely down to location. Because if it was, there'd be a pile of cars waiting to charge at the Apple Green as well. And then we look at price. These are 51 pence at the moment for non-Teslas. A fantastic price. But if it was just down to price, then Instavolt would be quids in at the moment, because they've opened up their Winchester hub, 44 bays, and they've dropped the price down to 54 pence. And that's day and night. So you go there, whatever time of day or night, it's 54 pence. If you have their app and use it, you get 50 pence, you get 4p off. So if that was purely down to price that's stopping people charging there, then that Winchester hub would be really busy. It's deserted. We've never seen more than 5 cars out of 44 bays. It's amazingly deserted. So the answer to this is not down to price either. At John at Richards, you could argue that Tesla's got a deal there because the Apple Green chargers, and 2 grid serve, 50 kilowatt dual bay, and they were busy, by the way. The Apple Green are on the motorway services themselves. The Tesla location is in the car park of a hotel, Ramada, I think you pronounce it. And that might have been a cheaper lease for the land. And that would make some sense. But then we just shoot our own argument down by saying we went down to South Mimms recently on the M25. And at a motorway services on the M25, again, we had Tesla exclusive to Tesla and Apple Green on the same location. And surely they would end up paying. In fact, because Apple Green own the motorway services, they should get a cheaper rate for their chargers. So they should be paying less than Tesla. So that doesn't make a lot of sense as to why Tesla prices are so much cheaper. And for my observant viewers, I'm now standing where a car was just a minute ago. And if you look behind, half of them have disappeared. No, they haven't disappeared, they've driven off. This is what we're saying about Tesla superchargers. The throughput is phenomenal. People in and out 10, 15 minutes, and they're gone. This driver, for example, they're off to the East Coast, up by Scarborough. They can make it on a full charge quite easily, and then they'll charge up there and come back. Anyway, we're getting back to brand loyalty. And I'm an Apple fan. I've got Apple computers, do my video editing on Apple computers, got an iPhone, got an iPad, love them. Had them for quite a long time. And they have built up a huge brand loyalty that once you're with them, you tend to stay with them. You don't go back on computers, back to Macs or back to Windows or any other system. And the difference with them and Tesla is Apple charges you for that privilege. Everything's dearer. If you get a desktop computer, for example, it will be less powerful for the same money, or if it's a powerful one, it'll be a lot dearer. Same with the iPhones, just a little bit dearer. And so customers are paying for the brand loyalty, but they perceive a value in it. Tesla's doing the opposite. They have a phenomenal brand loyalty, and it's done on pricing. So anyone who buys a Tesla or drives a Tesla will never charge anywhere else because these are ridiculous prices. So Tesla are building in this huge brand loyalty, and customers just sticking with them. So Tesla is a very controversial word at the moment, and even more controversial is the name Elon Musk. And while it's having a big impact on EV sales at the moment, we think that might change, but that's another matter. It doesn't seem to be affecting the supercharger, certainly the supercharger open to all, because if he was trying to keep this brand loyalty, the price for non-Teslas would be very high. We saw that in Portsmouth at one time, about 90 pence. Here we're seeing 51 pence peak and 38 pence off peak. He's encouraging people to come and charge here. And we've just had a BMW iX1 drive away, and we've got an ID3 charging at the moment. And we see cars here. So it's not putting people off charging their cars here, because these are fast chargers. They're reliable chargers. They're cheap chargers. And because of the predictive software, they are in a location where they are likely to be in the highest demand. So I'm not sure there's a single answer to any of this, but it would appear that whatever Tesla's doing, it's got it right. Well, we also look at reliability, and Tesla quoting a rate of 99.97, I think it was at the last count. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And that does two things. The first of all is in brand loyalty. If you always turn up here and everything's working, it's just that reliability. There's no worry, which is what Jim Farley reported, CEO of Ford, on a road trip in America. You would get to a charge, you'd have no charge left to get to the next one, and it was broken or really slow or in use by someone else. Here, there's plenty of choice of charges, and they're all working. And so that's the second reason that's important, is it keeps Tesla's costs down. Now, I was chatting with one of the commissioning engineers recently. They were actually commissioning some of the EV on the move ones, but they're the same V4 chargers. And what they said was that inside all the Tesla chargers, they use marine grade components, metals. So stainless steels at a marine grade. And this is important because rust. Inside here, there's power, you're getting heating, cooling, condensation, all sorts of things going on. And we were at Chester East and we met up with some GridServe engineers, and they reported that they knew of a case in Southport where BP had put a charger in, never commissioned it, and about 4 years later someone discovered, hey, it's there, we're getting a lot of complaints, and when they checked it, never been turned on. But when they went to turn it on, the whole thing was rusted inside. And we hear that the ABB units used by GridServe suffer from that. That's why if ever you see them installed but not yet commissioned, they'll often have a little generator running, and it's just keeping a heating and a fan going on to get rid of the condensation. But with the Tesla structure, everything in there, absolutely bomb-proof, bulletproof, the lot. You can leave these out you could put them on a ship in the middle of the ocean. They wouldn't rust. So that gives you a huge amount of reliability. And that gives them a much lower cost of maintenance. They make these themselves. They design them, they make them. And because they're not only designing, making them, they're using them and they're repairing them when and if they go, they've just realized if they make them better in the first place, they don't have to repair them. So the number of these that you see down at any one time throughout the whole country is absolutely minimal. And that keeps Tesla's costs down. So we're actually building up a picture. It's quite an amazing picture of why the Tesla brand and the Tesla supercharger is just the dominant force at the moment. Now, the Tesla gigafactories, they are some of the lowest cost cars to make in the whole world. They are phenomenally cheap, very low cost to make, and so they can pack more goodies in, and that's why they have a lot of brand loyalty. But of course, they make their own chargers as well, and these were designed right from the very beginning to be made on a production line at super giga speeds. So they're cheaper, and they rattle off down this line, and they come through at a phenomenal rate. And over in the States, they take that one stage further, and they actually, in the factory, just mount them onto a concrete plinth. All the wiring, everything underneath, there's just a plug on the end, and then a lorry comes in, lifts it on the back, drives off, plugs it in, it's up and working. So everything Tesla does is designed to make these lower cost. And they were finding that Tesla, on average, were 25% of the price of everyone else. The others were all up here. Tesla, 25% lower, with a better product, a faster, more reliable, and a cheaper product. So it's been designed with efficiency in mind. Get the cost down. So with GridServe, they buy in their chargers, ABB. A lot of chargers come from Scandinavia. And so there's a factory over there making chargers in smaller numbers. I say smaller numbers. I know ABB supply a lot of countries throughout the world. But they have a range of chargers. They have 350s, 175s, they have 360s. Now, there's a range of chargers. And so they've got this massive big production facility, and some of the production lines must be putting out just a handful of chargers, and others will be working flat out. There's no economy of scale compared to if you have one charger on one production line and they're just rattling out one after the other. So GridServe, yeah, they will be buying these ABB ones, but don't forget, ABB wants to make a profit out of them. So that puts the cost up to GridServe. Whereas Tesla, these will come out at cost or near enough cost. They can be fitted in and much, much cheaper. So coming right back to that hidden agenda, I'm rapidly reaching the conclusion it's an overt agenda. We know what they're doing. They've actually got a fantastic business model. Now, you might hate controversial and everything else, but the business model is absolutely phenomenal. It started the whole EV chain in the first place. It's going at a fantastic rate. There are hiccups along the way, but the business model works. If he was out to basically take advantage of this in the future, as many viewers think he will, the evidence says exactly the opposite. When someone like GridServe goes from 79 to 82 pence, or Instavolt goes from 79 to 87 pence, That would be a fantastic opportunity for non-Tesla prices to rise. Because they're silly, they're 51 pence here. You could easily put this up to 70 pence. It would undercut GridServe, Ionity, Instavolt, Osprey, undercut the whole lot. But that's not what's happening. The prices have dropped down to 51 pence. It's 38 pence off peak, just crazy. Now, we can't say what's going to happen for the future. It is possible, some of the viewers are right, that in 5 years' time, something will change. But there is absolutely no evidence of it and no sign of it happening. There seems to be a very successful business model that is very, very successful and profitable. And it is dynamic in that it is reacting to live events. So we'll come here next week, it'll be a different price. It's amazing the speed of change. And that's something that a lot of the CPOs just can't get their heads around. They produced a business plan 3 years ago. They're working to it today. Even though everything else has changed and is no longer valid, that's the plan they're working to. Tesla seem to think, oh, wake up in the morning, new plan, let's go for it. And it changes and it keeps up with the times. So anyhow, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, click the like button. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. Click the notification bell so we can notify you when we launch videos. Massive thank you to all the people we've met today. A lot of viewers have come up and said hello. We're always welcome to see people. We'll meet up. We'll have a brief chat with them while we're filming. But the overwhelming message here is the throughput on these is just absolutely unbelievable. So I'm Dave. This is Dave Takes It On.